We are talking Marvel's Runaways. This is a Season 1 review, 10 episodes that aired on Hulu. And we're not going to be talking too much about the plot here. Suffice to say, it is about 6 teenagers who are kind of from privileged upbringings, and their kind of parents are into some weird things, and it turns out their parents are actually kind of maybe kind of super villains, at least they were in the comics, and they're into some kind of like bizarre goings on, shall we say. The kids witness it, and many of them actually end up having kind of some kind of like metahuman abilities themselves, and decide they're going to kind of team up to take the parents down. That's a very oversimplified structure of the story here, but you get the gist. So let's talk about the Runaways. The first thing I want to kind of talk about is this in the MCU or not? I haven't seen confirmation either way, but I'm going to say it isn't, because there really isn't any kind of acknowledgement of the Marvel Universe as a large, to be honest, in this series. So, and the other thing is the character of Tina Minoru, who is kind of one of the parents, is actually in Doctor Strange, the movie Doctor Strange, played by a different actress, and there's obviously no mention of that in the TV show. Obviously, you can get away with another actress, but there's kind of, it doesn't tie in. So I'm guessing this is kind of like a pocket universe. Just think of it like maybe like the Daredevil Ben Affleck film. It's just its own thing basically. So not part of the MCU, I don't think. But anyway, let's discuss this series. It was quite it still is a popular comic. To this day, I actually read the first couple of issues when they kind of came out, but I enjoyed them. But I kind of gave up comics a while ago purely because spending too much money on them. So I kind of gave. I didn't read a whole lot of them, to be fair. But I read the first kind of like 2 or 3 issues, and they were okay. It's very much a kind of a teen-centric dynamic here, and it's definitely going for that kind of millennial audience. That is what it's going to be. I've seen this described as the OC of Marvel. Never watched the OC, so you have to tell me if that is correct. But what I did like about this series is I found the characters all very interesting. Now, in the comics, you don't really get the characterizations of the parents as much as you do in this series. And I think part of that is the fact that the parental characters here are more of your kind of your named actors. You know, you have James Masters, you have Julian McMahon. So you do have some actors here, all who have been in other kind of properties. So you'll know from a variety of different kind of TV shows, basically, in some movies. And obviously Julian McMahon was, of course, Doctor Doom. So these guys are facing Doctor Doom in a way. The best Marvel villain ever, if you ask me. Anyway, so, but I'm going to say I think the characters are very well realised here. Our teams are particularly well cast, and they all do a great job, I feel. And the kind of the costuming and makeup department really do make them really look like the characters from the comics, I've got to say. And if you're unaware, there is actually a dinosaur in this series as well, called Old Lace, who is kind of part of the team. And this series, our kind of parents get a lot more kind of exposure, and a lot more to do, and they're less super villains and a little bit more sympathetic, at least some of them. But they all do a good job. The issue I have with this series is I feel it is running way too slow. I mean, it's 10 episodes, and I feel like at the point where we got to episode 10, that should have maybe been at episode 5. The comic does have some crazy things that do happen in it, and it's only using the comics as a blueprint. It's not doing a page-for-page adaptation. But I feel it's kind of, because it's kind of taking some stuff out and adding some new stuff. It's adding a lot of the kind of the melodrama, a lot of the kind of the soapy elements, or more soapy elements than maybe the comics had. And I feel like the actual story of these guys kind of wanting to run away really is kind of being dragged out, particularly in the kind of the middle of this season, where the kind of the revelations and the reveals have all happened, but we just seem to be kind of like spinning our wheels for maybe kind of like 3 or 4 episodes, and it's really only the kind of the top and tail episodes where really a lot actually happens. So I do think this series started off very strong, but kind of got a little bit less interesting, if we're completely honest. The character work's very good. I've seen some people kind of say the CGI on Old Lace, which is the raptor, the Velociraptor, isn't so good, but it's kind of a mix between puppets and CGI. But I don't think it's, I mean, for a TV budget, I don't think you can complain. I thought the special effects here are great. I thought the music is fantastic. The actual music, the theme, and the kind of the in kind of program music is all pretty good. And yeah, the interactions between our kind of characters and the more in-depth characterizations of our parents, I do feel make them feel that much more of a kind of a more shades of grey, shall we say. There's lots of kind of mysteries here, and not everything gets answered in this kind of like this 10-episode run. And obviously there's a lot of stuff going forward into the kind of the next season, which has been renewed and will be 13 episodes. But overall, I think it is pretty good. But I don't feel it was like a real standout. I think it could have been, but I just think it maybe got a little bit kind of too hung up on some of the kind of like the melodrama and the kind of the soapy aspects a little bit too much. So, and it's not really despite the fact this is a Marvel comic book, don't be expecting these guys to kind of like dress up in kind of spandex, have code names and go and kind of like, you know, stop crime. It really isn't that. It's really just kind of like kids having to deal with supernatural stuff, or meta stuff, shall we say, meta-human stuff, but not really doing the hero thing. Really, they're not bad people. Don't get me wrong, but they're not superheroes as such. Anyway, it's worth a watch. I would say if you're kind of a hardcore Marvel fan, or if you like the kind of like you know, teen drama. If you kind of like your Riverdale, not that I've ever watched that, but stuff like that, you may want to, you know, you may like it. So I think especially if you do like a little bit of fantasy as well. Overall, I've got to say, I did enjoy it. I just think it's just a little slow. So I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.